Welcome into the Cam and Strick Podcast, episode number 36.
Damn.
I'm Andy Strickland, Cam Jansen. You say you're trending. You're not
Shut
trending
the fuck
anywhere.
up already.
You're not trending.
You're not trending.
Where are you trending?
You're not trending. You're not trendy.
You're trending
you don't do
down.
Shit. I fucking brought Affliction to St. Louis.
A what?
No. I brought Affliction.
What does that mean?
Back in early 2000s, I brought Affliction to St. Louis. I dominated at fucking Harry's. Then I get traded back to the Devils, and Affliction fucking went under.
Okay, so people who are listening, Harry's is what?
Oh, a badass bar. Oh, my God. You had every type of woman there. You had older women. You had rich women. You had young girls. You had everything. Every type of guy. It was the coolest place in the world. Then I get traded to Jersey, and it went under. It is what it is, Andy. That's how shit goes.
So that's Affliction?
No. Harry's is a bar. Affliction's a fucking clothing company. Not as cool as Norma Brand, but back in the day, they were kind of cool. All the MMA guys did, but it wasn't big in St. Louis until I started wearing it at Harry's.
Dude, I'm doing a cleanse today, by the way.
Good for you.
I'm feeling good and strong.
What are you cleansing out? You're 130 pounds. You're going to be fucking, like, what the fuck? I don't want you getting skinnier.
Dude, it's
you need
not
to get
about
put weight
getting
on,
skinnier.
homie.
You just gotta cleanse
You
all
cleanse
the,
your shit out. That means you're losing
get
your
everything
fucking,
out of your system.
What's in your system?
I don't know.
What?
Every human being has
What?
a lot of stuff in your system. You gotta clean it out.
You need to put weight on.
It's
bro.
like a air conditioner or a furnace, man. Sometimes you got to put a new filter in there and clean it out. Do that to your body.
How about
You should try it.
Put some fucking weight on. That's what you need to do. Get constipated so you fucking gain weight. That's what I say.
That's your advice to me?
Yeah.
Okay. What else is going on? You watching this Jordan show?
Yeah, dude. Jordan's a fucking cool. Look, isn't it funny? I never paid attention to the NBA ever.
People, by the way, act like they're friends with Jordan. Can we just say that? We don't have to name names.
Yeah. Oh, you're friends with Jordan?
You don't know.
Oh, St. Louis radio.
Yeah.
Oh, you're friends with Jordan? Oh, you are? Oh, yeah. What's his number? Has he called you in the past 10 years? Do you know where he lives? Have you been to his house? Have you had dinner with him? Does he know your fucking name? If I went to fucking Michael Jordan, I said,
is he in your
hey,
phone?
Motherfucker, is he? No. He might be in your phone. Are you in his phone? Is he texting you? And if I went to Michael Jordan and said, hey, do you know who this guy is? Is he going to be like, fuck yeah, he's a man. No, he's not. He's like, who? What? Shut the fuck up. Holy fuck. Embarrassing, homie. No, you don't. No, you don't. Sit down. Yeah, me and Wayne Gretzky are fucking tight. Yeah, Gretter knows me. I can shake hands with the guy, but I'm not texting him. If somebody says, do you know Wayne? I go, yeah, I know who Wayne is. If he looked at me, he'd say, hey, Cam. But am I texting him? Is he my buddy? No. But I'm way more close to me and Wayne than you are with Jordan. Shut the fuck up.
Wayne, by the way, is doing a Zoom call with draft prospects. Could you imagine Jordan doing that with the NBA prospects?
Jordan's like, fuck, I'm smoking my stogies. I'm chilling. I'm going to talk shit and I'm going to do my thing. Every time Jordan talks, I'm like, I like you more and more. My my top 5 favorite athletes ever, 3 of them are ex-basketball players. 3 of them.
And
Magic Johnson.
And you know nothing about basketball.
No, nothing. Magic Johnson, the coolest fucking classiest cat in the world. Michael Jordan, the fucking biggest pimp in the world. Who's next? Oh, yeah, Charles Barkley. Mm-hmm. The funniest guy I've ever seen in my life. I've met him before at Boston, Game 7. Awesome guy. And then, of course, like Brett Hall and maybe Conor McGregor. But other than that,
Jordan, like, it seems like he takes a lot of stuff personal and he holds grudges. He and Barkley, best friends for a long time, not so good friends now because Barkley made some comments about the Charlotte Bobcats or something.
They still exist?
I think Jordan owns the Bobcats. Yeah. And he made some comments about the Bobcats, man. This guy is, he's an analyst, right?
Yeah.
Charles Barkley, so he made some comments. Jordan didn't like it. And apparently he's holding a grudge and they're not friends anymore. Do you think a lot of those guys who are that famous, that successful, can be a little bit insecure and be a little bit sensitive?
Yeah, man. We're all sensitive
in
our own way. Everybody is, man. No
On a
doubt
scale
about
of 1 to 10, how sensitive are you?
Oh, 12?
Yeah, you're up there.
Oh, God.
What about me?
Oh, my God, dude. Like a 13-year-old girl. Holy shit.
Dude. I do get sensitive. I do get sensitive.
You're fucking sensitive
You know,
shit.
sometimes...
time out. We're on the radio the other day for my show.
I don't want to tell that story.
I'm just saying.
Well, you know where
you
it
got
comes
fucking
from.
pissed, and then I apologized. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People People act like it was. No. We go at it here and there.
Oh, we do?
No. 100%. You piss me off here and there. I pissed you off the other day. I apologize for it. And now I do get what you're talking about.
Yeah, man.
Like you work your ass off for that.
It's a pride
dude,
issue.
Fuck yeah.
You know?
Just like no doubt.
Sometimes like you got to have like it's the inner pride that you have like in
I know. I fucked that up.
And what you've done and the work you put into it.
Yeah.
And you want people to know, dude.
I know. And I honestly like during the you're texting me. So I have Andy on the show, and I'm not gonna. But he goes.
Thank God no one's listening.
You motherfucker. I go. Oh my. I'm trying to host a show with Andy, and I'm in my office. He's in his office, so we can't see each other.
But I'm on my phone, but he's not, so he gets the text messages.
So
right away.
I'm looking at my phone. He's like, "You mother." I'm like, "Oh my." I swear to God, I chirp you up. My heart sunk. I'm like. And then I'm trying to be. Then I have to like keep going with what I was thinking at the time while I'm looking at the text messages, and I know why you're mad at me. I'm like, oh fuck! And I'm like, how can I apologize and have him not hang up, but without like revealing why you're mad at me? Oh jeez, fuck. Anyway,
but it's all good.
It's all good. Homie. My bad, dude. I fuck up a lot, man. I'm sorry about that.
No, you didn't really mess up.
It wasn't good. My bad.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
What else is occupying your time right now? Anything?
It's
just break down the NHL, like what's going
on
on with the board of governor meetings about the draft and whatever. Like, are people that interested?
Fuck that.
To know if there's going to be a draft in June? When
you
want to
know what I'm doing?
Come on now.
You want to know what I'm doing? I'm a barbecuing motherfucker is what I'm doing. I barbecue like a son of a bitch. I watch videos. I watch Barbecue Pit Boys. I go to my sponsor, Corner Butcher, and I barbecue. Do I eat my food? Sometimes. I don't like eating my own food. When Kate makes me something, I'll eat it. I like to make food and give it to my family, my neighbors, and my wife.
You take food to the neighbors?
Yes, I do. Yes.
And you don't eat anything you make.
It's like fucking the guy, King Dick of New York handing out fucking turkeys during Thanksgiving. That's what I do for my neighborhood.
Yeah, for the homeless.
Yeah. And they don't even eat it because they know I barbecued it. But I still like doing it, and it's fantastic. And that's my hobby.
Okay. Well, everyone's got to have a hobby. We were talking about that recently, right? Somebody has a hobby. They called it a hobby. I'm trying to think what we were talking about. Like an addiction. Michael Jordan, I think he called it a hobby. His gambling addiction, he called it a hobby.
It's called competitiveness, dude. Look, if you're Michael Jordan,
is it a hobby though?
No, wait, just listen to me. Look how he has to travel. Everywhere he goes, every spotlight. You can't go to restaurants. So he sits in his hotel room, he kicks his feet up, he's smoking a cigar, he's like, fuck this, I'm bored. I'm going to go down to Atlantic City, and I'm going to gamble with my family. And I'm going to have my security by me, and I'm going to stay there till 1 o'clock. You know why I'm going to do that? Even though I have a championship game next day or whatever? Because I need to get the fuck away from reality. I need to get in my zone, just like when I play video games or whatever the fuck. Get away from reality, go gamble, come back, get a sleep, and go dominate. It's exactly what he did. He took heat for it, but all he was doing is like, fuck all you. I'm sitting in my fucking room. I get bored out of my mind. I don't have internet. I can't look porn up. So I'm going to go down to Atlantic City, and I'm going to motherfucking gamble. Get on with yourself.
You watch a lot of porn?
No, I mean, no.
Apparently
if
you do.
I get Kate, I'm like, Kate, like if we're ready to go, we're going to go. But, I mean, I know what Pornhub is. Jesus Christ, thanks for that fucking question.
Does that still break your computer? Is that what that does?
Oh, my.
It gives you like a virus?
I got a brand new computer. I'm not looking porn on this bad boy. My old computer is going to the Mississippi River. That's what's happening.
Cam acts like... I mean, people have had laptop computers for years. You finally get a laptop, you think it's the greatest thing ever. You've never had one.
I'm a barbecuing son of a bitch, and now I'm a typing son of a bitch. I'm using two hands when I type now, baby. My left hand is actually working. I found where the W was. I couldn't find the W for like 45 minutes the other day. Then Kate showed me where it's at. It's right by Q. And now I use my left hand like, what's up? Blah, 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 blah. That's how you do shit.
Okay, so I gotta ask you real quick because Mike Rupp set up that Zoom video.
Yeah.
And the Chiclet Boys gave us a shout out.
Yeah.
And called you a meathead, which is probably the perfect description for you.
Oh yeah, they're not. I'm sorry, Bizen. Whit's more like
he's
conservative.
called you a meathead a couple of occasions. Are you a meathead? Yes or no?
Is Biz normal? Is he normal?
But
I'm
meathead
sorry.
and normal—that's not the conversation. Are you a meathead?
I don't know. Yeah. What kind of stupid fucking question is that?
Okay, so you guys did the
what
Zoom
kind of
call.
stupid fucking question is that?
Well, because he called you that. So I didn't know.
No,
if
he
you
said
had
I jerk off to my fucking fight videos. I haven't done that in 2 weeks.
Which
I haven't done it in 2 weeks.
Which you do.
I told you the old computer's in the fucking Mississippi
River. I came
River.
across a Cam Jansen fight when he was in the OHL the other day. I actually was looking up Brandon Prust, how many NHL games he played, because I was curious. Because you guys did this video, and he's in like the fourth
Yeah, he's
50, 480 range, somewhere like that.
No big deal.
And a fight with you and him popped up from your days in the OHL. The Windsor Spitfires, proud organization.
Oh, yeah.
Been around for a long time, had a lot of success. The Taylor Hall days obviously had an incredible run, man.
Yep.
Incredible run. But your helmets were terrible, dude.
Terrible.
Absolutely terrible.
That's why I took them off in fights, and I'm like, fuck this stupid helmet.
You
I
won,
need to look sexy.
I think, did you win more fights in the NHL than you did in the OHL or no?
You stupid ass. You send me one fucking fight where I get pissed pumped by McGrattan. I told you that was a learning curve
my
for
God,
me,
he was
dickwad.
twice your size.
Oh, no shit.
3
He
times
fucking
your
pumped me.
size.
I'm like, I'm running through cats. I beat up 4 guys in a row, and all of a sudden I go to Sudbury and big boys over there. I'm like, oh, God, look at this fucking guy. He had a full beard. He's fucking long hair. He's dying. I'm like, I'm going to go.
Did you play like a regular shift, like in junior?
Yeah, third line. Yeah.
Third line.
Yeah.
So you'd play
Guys.
any special teams or?
Yeah, I played power play here and there. No
Would
penalty
you?
kill. Yeah, I did in box shots. You know
Cam
that.
told me he almost made the USA World Junior team.
Well,
this is breaking news.
Well, 2-2 was on Canada, and they needed somebody to counter that, and then they thought my name, and then they're like, no. No. But McGrattan piss pumped me, and I'm like, okay, I got to have a style now.
And then he's staring you down.
He's staring me down. Fucker. Fuck him. He piss pumped me, and I'm like, I'm going to get you back. And then we fought a couple more times in juniors, and then we really started going at it in the NHL. Oh, actually started in 04.
Did you ever win a fight against him in the OHL?
Yeah. No, I jumped him one time in the OHL, and I think that considers a win. Yeah, it was during the playoffs, too. I took like a 2-5-10, like just fucked my team over. But it was a selfish thing. You were 18 years old, and I was just selfish at the time, so I jumped him one time, and I beat him.
You hit somebody behind the net below the goal line where you just absolutely destroyed.
That's a
you
life
jumped
sentence.
higher than Mike Jordan. You should have gotten 20 games.
I should have got 20. I got 6 for that.
And then you fought the guy. Did you lose that fight too? You fell in the back of the net.
It wasn't. The other guy was dead. Okay, I killed the guy I hit.
Oh, tell me what his injuries were.
I broke 2 broken collarbones.
That's terrible.
It's not funny.
2.
You brought it up. I'm not bragging
That's
about this.
awful.
I fucked that up, and I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. I forget your
And
name.
it was,
I think your last name
an
was
illegal
Whitfield.
hit, and
It
you
was a legal
broke
hit.
both of his
My bad.
collarbones.
I'm sorry about that. They want me to forecheck hard. That's what I did. And then Chance Fitzpatrick fought me, and we fought, and that was it. And I served my sentence, and I came back, and I probably did it
Did
again.
your coach back then encourage you to play that way? Did he ever say, hey, don't fight?
Tom Webster, who just passed away, by the way.
Wow, rest in
yes,
peace,
rest
man.
in peace. Great. He was so sweet, man. The whole family, so sweet to me. I was wild. I told you this. I told the story before. I was so aloof of what was going on. I was from Erie. I didn't know. Everything was just so like, all of a sudden you become real popular. I got kicked out of games, Andy. I'd go in the locker room. I'd take my equipment off. I'd have my gitch on, which was like tight shorts, like your ball sacks hanging out, because I wanted that for the wives. And then I'd
Is this what you would wear out to the bars after the games?
And then I'd have a cutoff shirt that was tight as fuck. I'd get kicked out of games. I'd go into the Windsor Spitfires beer room with the fans between periods and drink beer with them. And then Mike Kelly, our GM, would have to come down and be like, Cam, let me tap you on the shoulder. Hey, psycho, you're not allowed to do this. We love you. You're a great guy.
Yeah.
You're very tough, and you're working your butt. Don't drink with the fans, you fucking moron.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
and
okay.
you're, how old are you? 16, 17?
17 years old. I'm drinking with the fans.
But the drinking age is 18 there, right? So it's not like...
I'm in my gitch between periods in the fucking beer lounge with the fans
But
drinking.
just to answer business question, are you a meathead? That's debatable. We'll get back to that. But you do watch your videos over and over and over and over
I don't jerk off to
again.
him anymore. Okay?
All right.
All right? You do now, apparently.
No. It just pops up. But maybe the best hitter in the NHL today is Tom Wilson.
Oh,
dude.
yeah, baby.
Listen, we wanted to get this guy on. This is kind of what we're doing on the Cam and Strick podcast. We have a vision.
Yeah.
We're like, this is our vision.
Yes.
We want this guy.
Yeah.
Go get him.
Go get him.
And we go and get him.
Get him, Andy.
Bring him on. And had a great conversation, man. People are going to love this
Such an awesome
conversation
guy.
with Tom Wilson. A lot of people hate this guy, which gives you an idea of how big of a star he is.
God, handsome.
Teams that Washington plays on a routine basis, those fans probably hate Tom Wilson because he owns a lot of people around the National Hockey. And he's good, too,
He's
man.
really good.
Really good.
Everybody's like, look, who do I have arguing? I got fucking some people I get so mad at. Fucking Tom Wilson, he sucks. Only reason why he's good is because of Ovechkin. What, dumb fuck? What'd you fucking say, dumb fuck? He's only good because of Ovechkin? He's on his fucking line. Why do you think he's on his line? because he compliments him, moron. You think Ovi's like, nah, I don't want Tom Wilson on my line.
Well,
get out of here.
If he didn't want Tom Wilson on his line,
he wouldn't have him.
He wouldn't be on his line.
There's a reason why he's getting 20 minutes.
But this guy was a first-round pick, too, and we got him right here on the Cam and Strick podcast. Baby. He's one of my favorite players to watch in the league, and I know a lot of St. Louis fans don't like this guy because he's hurt some players in the preseason. He's been suspended multiple times from hits against the Blues in the preseason. But for the St. Louis fans who are listening, just give this guy a chance, dude. If he was on your team, you would absolutely love this guy. And listen, talking to Tom Wilson during the show, outside of the show, he would be a perfect fit here in St. Louis, man. People would absolutely love this guy. And anywhere, yes.
He couldn't.
But I'm just saying fans would absolutely love
they would
this
love
guy.
him.
Yeah.
They would love it. Kate's not allowed to look. Anytime he's on anywhere, she's not allowed to watch it because she's in love with him too. So this is like the first podcast where she actually sat next to me and listened to it.
Oh, she did.
Yeah.
I feel like she's always listening to you. Like,
I know she is.
Every time we're talking, you're one of those. See, Cam's one of those. Every time we're talking, you have me on speaker with your wife in the phone. I don't like that.
They don't call me.
Stop doing that.
They don't fucking call me.
You gotta
You call me.
Tell me when she's in the room.
Tell me.
Tell me when she's in the room.
What's she gonna say? Is she gonna make? Well, she does make fun of you, I guess.
Might change the conversation. By the way, since I'm cleansing today, my wife has me cleansing. She just sent me
130 pounds.
This is what she sends me. She just said to me, "How you feeling? You might be colder than normal because that is a symptom of detoxing." So proud of you, she says.
So what the fuck did you do? When you drank a fucking smoothie. Sit down.
When you get home, you'll have a snack, she says.
Oh, what does that mean? What does that mean?
It's like a little these little snacks they give
really
you.
Cool.
It's not like a meal or anything. These little snacks to go along with this drink that I'm drinking.
Kate's gonna give me a snack tonight too.
I bet. All right, Tom Wilson, snack on this.
Oh yeah.
By the way, Bellman.com, www.bellman.com. The only place in St. Louis you should be buying a car. They're dropping off a Escalade for me, a pink Jeep for Cam with 2 doors, small wheels.
I'll get away with it.
And you'll get one of those. And you can also get a Chrysler, Dodge, or a Ram to go along with your Jeep.
Yeah. Escalade, anything, baby.
Get over there. Buick, GMC, Cadillac, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Can you repeat that?
No, but I will say this. They are unbelievable people. They love hockey. They've been around for a long, long time. They're fucking professional. They're not. You don't walk into Bellman and there's 15 swinging dicks coming at you like, oh, you see my? Shut the fuck up. They make it comfortable for you. If your wife wants to go in there and try to buy a car, she can go by herself and she's gonna be in comfort zone. They're creepy. Look. There's some places that are fucking creepy, man. You walk in there just like, ooh, they hound you like fucking, like a swarm on Michael Jordan after a fucking playoff game. I know. It's embarrassing, Andy. They make it comfortable for you.
Bellman.com and get yourself some new wheels in time for the summer because everything will be opening up eventually here. You're going to want to make sure you're looking good. BEHLMANN.com.
I knew that.
Bellman.com. Of course, Cope24, changing our parenting experience. Cope24.com. And we are not getting out of here without talking about the Normal Brand. That's where we are. It's where we broadcast from.
Unreal.
Check out the Normal Brand, man. They'll bring the store to you. Just set up a store inside your driveway, man.
If you're single and you want a wheel, wear some fucking Normal Brand clothes. The girl's like, oh, shit, you're fucking successful, baby. And you might chop fucking wood. I like you. You'll save my life if we're fucking stuck in the woods somewhere.
No Corona on the clothes.
Shit,
they stay 6 feet apart, all that type of stuff when they come to your house.
Yeah, baby.
So, again, check out everything they're doing here at the Normal Brand, man. So again, thanks to Conrad and Lan and Pete and everybody for having us here at the Normal Brand as we bring you Tom Wilson on the Cam and Strick Podcast, episode number 36. How you doing, man? Thanks for doing this. Where are you? Are you in D.C.?
Back in Toronto.
Oh, you're in Toronto.
We've been back here for a couple weeks now. 2-3 weeks. So.
You got a house out there? You live by yourself?
Yeah, I got a house up here. Moved kind of back into the neighborhood I grew up in. So I got that. I got a house here a couple of years back. So kind of where I call home base in the summer and train and stuff.
So what are you doing? You have the key to the neighborhood rink, whatever. You're just going in there at midnight and getting your skates in, or what?
You know what? The rink manager is actually a beauty at North Toronto Arena. He's a great guy, but there's no ice in there right now. I don't think he didn't want to keep it running, just for me. So I'm sure he would have, but I didn't reach out, and enough in advance. So just haven't seen a sheet of ice in a month or so here. So there's going to be a lot of guys like that, I think.
Well, that's a shame. Actually, the Centene rink in St. Louis keeps the ice open for me, and I don't even play anymore, Tom. So I don't know. You might have to write them an email.
Yeah,
I'm joking.
Are you one of these guys that these Canadian guys who you drive into your town, there's a sign that says "Home of Tom Wilson, Stanley Cup champion"?
No. I'm actually from pretty much downtown Toronto.
Oh, yeah.
As close as you can kind of get to downtown. So it's a big city, and there's a lot of bigger names that have come out of here than me. So it was definitely fun coming back with the cup and stuff, and a lot of people that were pretty excited. But they're big Leaf fans here, and definitely a lot of guys that have come out of this area that played in the NHL and stuff.
Yeah, there'd be like billboard after fucking billboard after billboard. Just one after
sure.
another, Andy. Where do you live? Where do you live in Washington, man? How's that city?
It's great. I live in Arlington, which is just outside DC. Bit of a unique kind of city. There's Maryland and Virginia on either side, and then the city of DC is right in the middle. So it's awesome. I didn't know much about it when I got drafted there, but everyone that comes there, plays there, loves it. It's a great balance of pretty passionate hockey fans, good hockey team, lots going on in the city, nice neighborhoods, where you can live that are a little quieter. So there's places to send your folks when they come to town. There's lots of stuff to get them out of the house. So it's I've loved it there, and definitely kind of a second home for sure.
How big have the Capitals become? I mean, just since winning, are you getting recognized everywhere and just getting the benefits of winning the Stanley Cup, or what?
Yeah, it definitely was a big spike when we won. Ever since I've been there, it's been awesome. There's been sellout after sellout, and the fans have been great. I think Ovi really changed that when he came to the team.
Never heard of him. Never heard of him.
Who's that? Which one is he? You say Oshie?
Yeah, no, he's a great guy too. But I think I've heard rumors that Ovi's probably behind the president, one of the most recognizable faces in the area. So he's a unique guy, and he definitely can't go anywhere without making a scene. So but it's a good balance. The fans are awesome. They're great. They're not over the top. They won't bother you, but pay their respects, and it's great.
Could you imagine, Cam? You're a legend in two countries. Like, if you
Oh my
go
God.
back home or you're here, you can't go anywhere because everyone knows who you are.
First Russian statue in Washington, D.C. will be Ovi. Think about that.
I love it.
Think about that, dude. With no teeth.
Yeah, I heard Nicky Backstrom was telling me he went over to play with Ovi during the lockout, and he said you think Ovi's a big deal in DC, you should see him in Moscow.
Oh my God.
This guy can't go anywhere. He's a superstar. He's a rock star there. So that hopefully. By the time this is over, I get a chance to get down to Moscow and experience a couple nights with him there.
Kovalchuk wanted me to play over in fucking Russia. And I'm like, okay, Kovy. He's like, Cam, I'm telling you, we can do whatever the fuck we want. I think those guys are in Parliament over there. If you're that good at hockey, you're fucking you can do whatever the hell you want, man. You own territories of that country, I think.
Yeah, they're gods over there for sure, and I can't imagine.
How much fun do you guys have? You guys kind of remind me of the Blues a little bit. Maybe it's because you guys are the back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, but how you celebrated, how much fun you guys seem to have off the ice. It seems like you genuinely like each other inside your dressing room, even though you guys are coming from all over the world, basically.
Yeah, we have a lot of guys from all over, and obviously our ringleader is the common denominator here with Ovi, but he's the ringleader. He has so much fun. Every day he comes to the rink, and then obviously when we won, it just gets amplified to the max. So he was doing his thing, and if your captain's doing it, I guess you follow. And we just had an absolute time together. It was a pretty special group of guys, and ever since I've been there in DC, the group in the room has been awesome and a lot of fun, and that's kind of a staple. Like you said, like the Blues and some of the other teams you see, we come to the rink every day and have fun. And, when you're winning, you can do that. And it just makes it better. It makes everything better.
Isn't it nice having that your leader though? Just amped up for games, like just hitting guys, and then all of a sudden, obviously he probably takes you guys out too. Is he the kind of guy that so he orchestrates the parties? Because people don't understand, like being a captain, there's layers to it, man. There's layers to it, not just on the ice, not just in the locker room, but you're sorting out different events. You got to bring the wives into different things. So how does he balance all that? And not to mention being the most popular guy in the town and dealing with the media, like that's a lot to fucking handle.
Yeah. I mean, I always said I don't know how some of those superstars do it. They're expected to score every night. He's the captain. He's expected to win. Like he had a lot of pressure for a lot of years, and he managed it very well. And he doesn't. I'm not going to sit here and say he's the guy that plans everything and does all that. Like he does his own thing, but he's not going to miss a team party. That's for sure. He'll be there and he'll be life of the party. And it's pretty fun. We've had Halloween parties at Russian karaoke bars and in DC and stuff like that. So he'll take the boys to his stomping grounds every once in a while.
Can you get Cam an autographed sticks? Because he won't stop asking questions about Ovi.
I'm fucking sorry about that.
I'm
fucking sorry.
I'm on here, huh?
Fucking no. I go. Hey, what? Listen, you handsome bugger, you. I got questions for you, Tommy. Trust me, I've been pumping your tires for the past 3 years. Go ahead, Andy.
I want to talk about Tom for a second here.
Fuck's sake.
So you're from Toronto? Does that mean like you're a city boy? Like, did you grow up tough? Like, were you fighting off the ice too, or was this just a hockey thing for you?
No, I was pretty good growing up. Obviously, there's the odd when you go out to the bar in downtown, there's the odd chirping, and you can't really avoid that in a big city. But I was pretty good at leaving it to the ice. My first real fight was, I think, in the GTHL prospect game against Scott Lawton. Which was the first time I ever really dropped the gloves, and it was a pretty hilarious. We spent like a minute trying to get each other's helmet off to start the fight at like 14, 15 years old. So yeah, that's kind of where it started. And then you go into the OHL and you get in a fight, and it's not so bad. And then you make the NHL, and you're playing 7-8 minutes, and there's a way to make an impact on the game, and that's just kind of how it went.
Yeah, I saw that I played in the O2, and you played for Plymouth, which is kind of difficult too. You kind of want to play for a Canadian town because you're in the States. You're 17. You can't go out. Like Plymouth is kind of tough, but disregard that. Going in there, were you just crushing guys? Were you like, okay, I know there's a couple heavies on each team, but it's kind of just trickling down a little bit. There's not much to deal with. You're getting a lot of ice time. Was it tough to control yourself on the forecheck at that point? When were you really rocking guys?
Yeah, like I played pretty hard, even in the GTHL and in minor hockey. It was always part of the game that I really enjoyed. I grew up watching the Rock'em Sock'ems and the Toronto guys, those teams growing up with Darcy Tucker, Shane Corson, Domi, guys that played pretty hard. Yeah, Belak, Belak for sure.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I got to the OHL. I had a guy named Jamie Devane on my team. He was probably 6'7", big, tough guy, one of the toughest in the league. So, he kind of said, "Hey, go play your game. I know you can finish checks." And I just went in there and did it and played my game. And as you get older, you start defending yourself a little bit more and sticking up for yourself. But I've always fortunate to have guys, on my teams that would stick up for me as well.
So what was the breakout for you that led to you being a first-round pick?
You know what? I actually had, wrist surgery my first year in the OHL, so that kind of sucked. And then going into my draft year, no one really knew where I would be. There was a couple of prospects games and stuff where, you make your name for yourself a little bit. Got into a fight there with a WHL guy, and you just try and play hard. And then my draft year playoffs was probably where I started to get some more recognition. Had some points and stuff, and got some good positive feedback. And George McPhee took me in the first round, and that's obviously a vote of confidence, and your game grows, and you just keep trying getting better every year.
How was it? Where was the draft at, by the way? Like, we all know our draft stories. I even have I was a fourth rounder, but we had a couple mistakes where I thought I was getting drafted, but it was Aaron Niddle who played for the Windsor Spitfires instead. Me and my dad celebrated. We thought it was me, but it was Aaron Niddle. Like, oh, cool, Nitzy, thank you. Where were you drafted at, and how'd that all go down?
Yeah, ironically, it was actually in Pittsburgh, which obviously they don't like me too much there. So that was the first chapter, I guess, was the draft in Pittsburgh. I got taken 16th. And obviously that's the start. That's the dream come true. So I had my family there and everything, and definitely a whirlwind of memories and emotion there. And then from there I went back to junior. My third year in junior was a lockout year, and I got invited to the camps at Christmas and got some experience there. And then at the end of that year, I actually got called up to the AHL, played a couple games there. We got knocked out, and then my debut was Game 5 against the Rangers in the Stanley Cup playoffs with Washington. So that was pretty crazy in itself for sure.
How'd that go? Isn't there like a story that comes with it? Didn't you do something in the game?
Sure, he rocked
what happened in that
game? The first game it was pretty quiet. I think Mike Ribeiro scored the overtime winner for us. So that was pretty cool. Front row seat for most of the game, didn't play too much. And then the second game was at Madison Square Garden, and the memory from that game is when I lost my skate blade in the far corner. And I think I tried to rock McDonough or something, missed him, hit the boards, and my skate blade popped out, and basically was crawling back to the bench at MSG. So
yeah, fuck that though.
Funny.
The camera's on you, man. Like, who cares? Like, you're gonna be in all the highlights afterwards. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, it was funny. I think Jason Chimera hopped over the boards and pushed me back to the bench. So you're just thinking the whole way back, like, please don't get scored on while you're down a man, like playoffs, and I'm just like getting there as quick as I can.
All right, so Tommy Wilson, I remember when you first came into the league, but you were more of a hitter, and then you just like turned into this guy who plays on the top line, scores 20 plus goals. Like, how has the evolution been for you just overall as a hockey player, kind of being just an all-around player? You kind of have a brand of your game, Tom, that not many guys have.
Yeah, I think it didn't happen overnight. You work at it. All the cliche type responses there. You want to grow your game every year, but it's true. And when I came in, there really wasn't a spot for me, up in the lineup. So I needed to do the best job I could as a fourth line guy. And there were games where I would go up and play on the third line or whatever and get some experience. But for the most part, I was going out there and I'd play 7 or 8 minutes, and I'd try and hit someone and fight. And if I could get some momentum for the team or whatever, that's what I wanted to do. And that was kind of the role for me that year. And then, it was never like the coaches were telling me that that's the way I was going to be my whole career. Like, they wanted me to continue to evolve, but at that point, that was just kind of the role that I needed to do. And don't get me wrong, there were times where we were going into Boston with some pretty tough teams, and the coaches said, "Hey, maybe take it easy tonight, and you don't need to flatten someone on the first shift here," because they had Lucic, McQuaid, Thornton, Chara, those teams. They were still pretty tough when I came in. So
long night ahead of you, boy.
Night. There's a lineup of guys. If you get through one, there's probably 5 or 6 more guys that are ready to take you on. So those were fun days, though.
I remember you. OT coached you right off the bat, didn't he?
Yeah. That was my first coach.
I remember we played you in Washington. No, I fucked these stories up before with Hall of Famers in our podcast, but I remember this. So
he doesn't. He never knows. He'll be like, he told Eric Lindros.
Oh my God!
I remember starting the game against you, and Eric was like, I wasn't even on the team.
Oh my!
What are you talking about?
Tommy, I fucking embarrassed myself in front of a fucking Hall of Famer. So fucking embarrassing. But I'm not gonna do it with you. I remember this. We played against you, and I remember you go and you run somebody. I believe they had Erskine on the team too, so I'm kind of dealing. Who's like that, one of the most underrated fighters ever, tougher than dog shit, nice guy. And I'm thinking about him the whole time. You get called up for you were young, didn't know you. You hit 2 guys. I'm like, what the fuck? Then you bury somebody again, and OT sits you for the rest of the game. I'm like, thank God that guy didn't. And then I remember that. How was it with OT? We just had him on the podcast, by the way. Was he just trying to be like, look, here's the leash. I want you to hit guys. Like, what did he say to you to try to control your passion, man, and your emotion? Because I understand that whole thing.
Yeah, like I think there was obviously a balance. Like we had a pretty old school GM in George McPhee at the time, and obviously a pretty skilled Hall of Famer coach in Oatsy. So it was a good balance for me. Like I came in, Oatsy wanted me to keep my skill, and obviously I was going to play hard and try and play that aspect of my game. But Oatsy was great. He always would spend time with me, working on the little things and developing my game. When it came to the actual game time on ice and stuff. He was playing to win. I don't think we made playoffs that year, so we were in a battle kind of the entire year. But he was great with me. He definitely made sure that I wasn't being just pushed into that role. He wanted to help me in the practices and stuff like that. So it was good. It was a bit of a tough year, and the organization changed a lot from there. But I still see OT from time to time, and we have some laughs. Obviously, your first NHL coach you'll always have a spot for him. It's pretty cool to think back on those memories.
So who's the guy that encouraged you to play your game and be an offensive guy, and just kind of gave you that freedom as a player to know, hey, if I make a mistake, but I'm trying to make a play, it's okay. I'm still gonna see the ice the rest of the game.
Yeah, I don't know. I still kind of, when I'm out there, I'm definitely not trying to turn the puck over at the blue line. I still don't know if I'm in the clear yet, but it's, I think Trotzy, the coaching staff, Trotzy and Reardon, as I worked with them, there's a couple guys, assistant coaches, Lane Lambert, Blaine Forsyth, guys like that behind the scenes that really worked with me. And, it started off with the PK, then you get comfortable out there in big situations. And then Trotzy put me up with Nikki and Ovi for a couple games. And I think the big thing was, playing 5 or 6 games with those guys is a lot different than going into the game knowing you're going to be on that line. And that didn't happen until probably the beginning of the year we won. When I was, consistently, you come into the room, you're confident your name's going to be on the first or second line. And, it was a long process, and you just try and take more and more and more responsibility. And, eventually, you make the most of it when you play with those guys. And it wasn't just like I got put with them and it was over. There was definitely some mistakes. And I think one year I actually went from first line to press box, for a game. So it happens.
Cam understands the press box part.
I was going to make a joke.
He doesn't know what it's like to play in the first line, but he understands the press box.
I already had a joke. I had a joke lined up, and you ruined it for me. I was going to say, I know the feeling walking in that senior fucking. Okay, never mind. Joke's over with. I do have a question for you, Tommy, though, and I'm dead serious on this. Coming from a player, what's the hardest thing for you? And I'll give you an example. The hardest thing for me is when the puck would come rolling up the fucking boards because the D-man's like, here you fucking go, Cam. I'm going to give you the shitty fuck pass up the boards. And I'm like, oh, God, somebody's going to come down the wall and kill me the way I would kill them. Yeah, and then I'd be like panic fuck mode. And I'd be like, get it out of zone. Like, is that the toughest part for you? What's the toughest aspect of the game for you, Tommy?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely part of it. As you know, when you're a guy that plays with that type of, aspect to your game, you dish out the hits, but, whenever you have your head down, there's a lot of guys on the other team that are trying to get you back. So, I mean, that's part of the game. That's part of the game. And I think that's what, hockey was for a long time, is go out there, take a number and get them back fair and square later in the game. And there's an aspect to that. And some, I've been crushed a couple times for sure. that happens. And you get up and you keep going. But, my first couple of years in the league, I'm a young guy. I'm trying to go out there and make a name for yourself, play hard. But you better believe when the puck's coming around on your wing, there's, I could go down the list with guys that were tough and, that hammered me. So I think Colton Orr, actually, my first game in Toronto, crushed me. Exactly what you were talking. I got a breakout pass and,
did you do anything about that? Did you do anything about that with him?
No, just not much you can do there as an 18 or 19-year-old kid. You just skate back to the bench and get ready for your next shift.
Tommy, that's a tough one right there, man. That guy throws down the pipe.
I grew up watching him, and I was like, another funny story with those guys, actually, that just reminded me. My first goal and assist came in the same game, and I think Karkner grabbed me with a minute left in the game and said, hey, do you want a Gordie Howe hat trick? I was like,
you might as well do it at that point. Fuck that. Do it.
was like, I want to be able to celebrate my first goal after this game and look myself in the mirror. So
he might hurt
I think
you,
it was
man.
a big scrum, but it was there were some tough guys for sure in the league, like yourself when I came in and was trying to play hard and stuff.
You mentioned Barry Trotz. Like, is he an unassuming guy? Like, my wife and I actually hung out with him a couple times in Vancouver last year.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did, Andy.
I couldn't believe it. and he had it was almost like, you see him from afar and you're like, this guy is an unreal dude. I mean, just likes to kind of put him back a little bit. He's telling my wife where to go shopping, all that type of stuff. But
Louis Vuitton?
Oh my
You're
God.
like, fuck you.
So you guys win the cup and all of a sudden he's gone. Were you guys like, what is going on here? Where our coach just got let go, or did you just like focus on just partying all summer and just kind of let the management handle that situation?
Yeah, it was weird. Obviously, I think there's 3 or 4 times that's ever happened where a team wins and then the coach moves on. But we had, we were pretty confident in one of the things Trotzy did extremely well was he brought in an awesome support staff. Like we had, coaches and stuff that really knew what they were doing. And, he first and foremost, he's probably one of the best people around the game. Like you said, like he can sit there and is just such a good person. And obviously you get a lot of respect from your players when you come in and you're just a good person. And, from there we had an amazing run and we had some pretty hilarious times with him, him doing the hot laps and stuff before playoff games. And, there was a lot of laughs and, you'll always have a bond with a coach when you do that. But, we're not obviously paid to make those decisions. And, Todd Reardon came in and we were very comfortable and familiar with him. And he's a great coach too. So you just go out there and try and play and let the rest take care of itself.
Hey, Cam, if I gave you the option to buy a car, you can either go to the dealership or you can buy it from your house, from the crib.
Oh, my God, Andy, Bellman, they make it so easy for you. They'll come to you. Not to mention they'll have videos of any car that you want. They'll go right through it. They'll show you the ins and outs of everything, make it completely simple for you. And I tell you what, they're great people to work with. They've been in the game a long time, Andy. They're huge hockey fans. They do a lot of charity work in this city, and they make it comfortable for you to go buy a car at Bellman.
Exactly. And we're dealing with a pandemic. Cam didn't know that, but everybody else knows we're dealing with a real pandemic. This is serious stuff. And so that's why they're making an adjustment to make life as easy for you, because people out there still need transportation. People out there were still planning on buying cars. Doesn't mean that you have to put that on hold. The NHL season's on pause, but your car aspirations don't need to be. www.bellman.com. You can email them. You can text them. They've got so many different ways. And again, they will do a virtual meeting with you where they'll walk around cars. They'll show you the exterior. They'll show you the interior. Answer any questions you may have about the engine or the performance. And great lease deals. You can buy a new car, pre-owned deals as well. And again, if you're a current Bellman customer, listen up to this as well, because they will come to you with a nice, clean loaner car, all sanitized. You don't have to worry about the big germs because they took care of it. They cleaned it all up for you. They'll leave you with the loaner car, take your car back to the shop, service it up for you, and then deliver it back to you. That's what I call service, Cam Jansen.
They make it too easy, Andy. Everybody's going to start doing this kind of stuff now. They're innovative. They're great people. Check them out. Bellman.com.
If you can't get there, they'll come to you. Again, Bellman, Buick, Cadillac, GMC, or right across the street, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Bellman Automotive Group, proud sponsor and big-time supporter of what we're doing here on the Cam and Strick Podcast. www.bellman.com.
What do your teammates call you, by the way? Willie? Tommy?
Oh, Willie.
I mean, Cam's calling you Tommy the whole time. I was making sure that...
I'm thinking my own nickname for you, Tommy. I am.
What do they call you?
Yeah, it's Willie. It was Willie, and then Justin Williams came to the team, and Mr. Game 7 obviously gets Trump on the nickname. So there was times where we were sitting on the bench, and Trotzy would just say Willie, and we'd look at each other and try and decide, who we thought he was trying to put out on the ice. So most of the time it was him, and he'd say, I think it's you. You go. So there were some years there where it was a little confusing, but Tommy and Willie and all that, and obviously some weird ones that make no sense that there's no point even trying to explain.
I heard they called you Little Willie. I don't know. That was a rumor. Go ahead, Andy.
I don't know. Cam would maybe know that. So I always wondered, you guys who grew up being great hockey players. I mean, who was your team growing up with? That you played for, but were you just one of those kids that couldn't get enough hockey? Did you love it? Did you play in the driveway or play at the local rink every single day? What was your upbringing like?
Yeah, we had a ravine in our backyard. So my dad, typical Canadian kid, had the backyard rink. And
I mean, every Canadian kid had a backdoor rink.
I did, and I'm from Eureka, Missouri.
we were lucky because we were in the city, but we had a little ravine, and our neighbors actually agreed to. It wasn't a big ravine, and it kind of went across 3 properties, and our neighbors were nice enough to let us make the rink across the 3 properties in the winter because obviously they weren't using it. So that was awesome.
Could you imagine asking someone in St. Louis, Cam, hey, can we make a rink across your property? Like in Canada, they're so nice. Here they'd be like,
oh, no.
Fuck you. No,
Fuck
you
your
can
ass.
pay me some money.
I don't even know what hockey is.
No, go ahead. Sorry, man.
Exactly. No, exactly. So, that was that. We spent a ton of time out there with my buddies and stuff. As I grew up, obviously, I wasn't sure I was going to play hockey for a living and, until you're a little older. So, I had a bunch of buddies and you just try and balance, making it to the odd party and doing good in school or, and all that. And, you just balance it. And then I was lucky enough to get there and have a chance at making the NHL. So my mom wouldn't have let me go away at 16 if I didn't have my grades and stuff. So unfortunately I had to work pretty hard at that stuff and do well in school and all that.
Well, good thing you did because it matters nothing because you signed a $30 million contract. Who gives a damn if you know algebra? You got a damn phone, homeboy. Who cares? Speaking of which.
Google.
No shit. Oh, do I need to know fucking mathematics? Yeah, I got a fucking phone. Here's the deal. Yeah. You signed a big contract. You're doing your thing. You got long flowing hair. What did you sign with the first big toy? You got a toy, you like boats? Like what'd you sign with that $30 million contract, baby? We want to know.
Life was pretty good even before that. Obviously, you're playing in the NHL, so you're able to splurge here and there on things. But for me, I have a G-Wagon now, which is awesome.
Oh, the Mercedes.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's a
that's pimping ain't easy.
One of those right
that's
now.
Pimping ain't easy. You roll up in one of those, people are like, "Fuck you, do
what
something
color?
cool."
What color?
White. So that's nice. We went to Greece last summer with 5 of my best buddies and a couple bar tabs that were probably a little bit too much, but that's what it's all about.
You and 5 buddies went to Greece? You and 5 your buddies? Just all you guys? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Was that awesome? Do you recommend that if you got 5? Are you single, by the way?
No. I got a longtime girlfriend, so it was nice of her to let us go to Greece and.
That was a tough conversation. That was a tough conversation. Let's be honest here. That was a tough conversation, Tommy. I don't care what you look like.
for sure. But it was awesome. It's that's my buddies and I. Whenever it's a dark, rainy day in the middle of the winter or whatever, we're always chatting about the times in Mykonos and Greece, and that's the great part about being young and playing in the NHL is when you get to go downtown with your buddies and have a good time, and it makes it worth it for sure.
Willie, you know how popular you are in St. Louis, right?
yeah.
We like you.
They love you.
Yeah.
I told you. I said, listen, by the end of this interview, we're going to make sure everybody in St. Louis loves Tom Wilson, man.
That's what I'm saying.
So we got to talk about a couple of the hits. Now, what is up with you in the preseason? You get so amped up in preseason. Explain that to us.
I get it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I always, for my first ever preseason game when I was trying to make the NHL, if I was putting on an NHL jersey, I was going to play as hard as I can. And, obviously there's a lot of different people on the ice. There's junior kids, there's NHL caliber players, there's some AHL guys and stuff. And, I just try and worry about my game and play hard. And obviously that got me in trouble a couple times in the preseason, but people are like, I don't understand why you play like that in the preseason. And I guess for me, you work hard all summer. Everyone tells you got to go to the gym and get as big and strong as you can, as fast as you can. And then you get into the preseason and you're getting ready for the regular season. And to me, when you put on the jersey, it's go time. So it's, I played hard and whatever, and I got a couple of suspensions and you learn from it and move on.
Okay.
Good answer.
No, wait, I get that. And I did the same thing in preseason too. but I'm a fourth line guy, and I didn't sign a big contract. So you got to know now, though, in preseason, it really doesn't matter when you get to a point where you're at now. And I will say this: you did hit Sonny when Oscar Sundqvist, and I have to bring this up. And during that time, you're back checking, and now you look back on those hits. And by the way, you woke Sundqvist up, and people in St. Louis actually kind of like you for that because he's a fucking warrior now. But in Sammy Blais, the same thing. You kill him, and all of a sudden he might kill you back.
And Robert Thomas
is fucking down. Hey, player. Actually keep hitting guys. Never mind. I want you to play preseason. But seriously though, you got to look at it now though. And you're in a different situation. You're a fucking Stanley Cup winner. You got money. You're on a fucking first line with the best player ever. One of the best players ever. You got to look at those preseason games now. Like, I'm not going to do the back check hits anymore. Has your game changed a little bit because of that stuff?
Yeah, I think for sure. I mean, you'd be stupid not to change. Obviously the game has changed a lot too. So I just have to realize where it's at. Those preseason hits aren't happening. I mean, I had guys in my gym when I was 17, 18 years old, Chris Stewart, Anthony Stewart, Wayne Simmons, some pretty tough characters saying, hey, if you want to make the NHL, you got to go in, you got to have 4 fights and 4 goals in preseason. And I maybe got half of that in my first real preseason and ended up making the team. So, I mean, that was a different time, I think. Obviously, Jance, those preseason games used to be absolutely just bloodbaths. So that's changed, and obviously you got to adapt. And the regular season and the playoffs is the important time. So you got to make sure that you're on the ice for as much as you can for those.
What were you thinking when Yaskin came after you? He was your teammate too.
I was like, what the fuck you were asking there? Oh my, Yaskin when he came after you. That's funny. Go ahead and answer that question.
He had never been in a fight, I don't think.
Oh, you would have fucking buckled him. Oh my god.
He did. He fought him.
Oh my god.
He fought him.
That's right.
Jasky was he came to play with us about a year after that, and great guy. We had some fun in Washington, but there was times where I had to remind him, hey, remember what happened?
Daddy's home. Daddy's home. Get out of here.
And he is a great guy, man. I really like to meet him.
He's lighting it up now. Like, I think he's leading
the KHL or whatever.
KHL or something.
He had mixed reviews.
But there be games, and we're not going to turn this into like a Yaskin conversation, but there be games like he would sit, then all of a sudden play in a playoff game and have like 11 shots on goal and score a goal and just go absolutely nuts, But he's
a horse. Like he's a strong kid. Like he's a horse and had all the tools and stuff, but
it just dominates in the American League too. Like when he played down there, he would absolutely dominate. So, listen, I want to know what it's like though as a player, because you had obviously been suspended before, like the Sundqvist hit, for example. You make the hit. What's it like being in your shoes, knowing that it's coming again? Like when you're leaving the ice and then you got to have a hearing, and then they slap 20 games on you, man. What was that like for you, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, you just kind of take it day by day. There's a lot of highs and lows throughout that year, obviously, and training to New York and stuff. It was a pretty crazy experience, and you go through stuff and you learn from it. There's so many. After there's a big hit in any game, any player, there's so many different opinions, right? Like I had a couple of teammates come up to me and be like, "Hey, I watched it 10 times, and I think you're fine." And I respond being like, no, not exactly.
No,
like I got a new person hearing.
I elbowed them.
They just called, and I so there's people that have their opinion, and when you play hard like that, there's going to be big hits, and you just got to try and adapt and learn and adjust as a player. And hockey's a pretty fast game. Everyone's like, oh, how did that happen? Try going out there and skating at that speed, and they're talking tenths of a second in a lot of these things, and that think of a tenth of a second. Like, how are you supposed to think about that when you're playing hockey? So it's tough, but you just roll with it and you live. And you like adapt. You said, it's still a good life.
You adapt, dude. You adapt to it. I had to change my shit too, man. I can't do fucking back check hits anymore. Like you can't. I used to love Tommy. God, the back check hits where you forecheck and they break it out easily. And you're like, okay, fine. And they come across the blue line when they dump it in, and they think they're going to go for a change. You're like, I'm fucking getting you here. You can't do that anymore, man.
So
like,
what's the key to being a good hitter? What's the key to
adapt?
Because listen, I watched a full highlight package of you just from this season. And you haven't stopped hitting guys, man. I mean, you get an opportunity, you crush guys. So I'm glad you've kept that edge to your game. How have you been able to adapt and still do that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the best way I can explain it, and there's no, a lot of people ask that, and there's no easy answer. But I think there was definitely just hits that you try and stay away from. Those days are gone. The big, open ice collisions and stuff like that. Those don't happen as much anymore. And you just got to try and be, control what you can. And I think that's the biggest thing. But that's part of my game. Like, when I go into the playoffs, I have to hit people like that. At the end of the day, that's going to help my team win games. And, you can't just stop it. I wouldn't be in the league. I wouldn't be in the league. So you gotta figure it out. It's a fine line, and, you just gotta continue to evolve and round out your game for sure.
Even if you're not even hitting guys, like if you go on a forecheck like that and you're coming at them, they're gonna turn the puck over. Like sometimes if the guy turns his back on you, don't even need to finish a check on it because the guy already made the play because he thinks you're gonna hit him. So I mean, it's a mind game too, in a sense, though, Tom. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I think when you have a reputation as a guy that's gonna finish his check, there's definitely people that move the puck a little bit quicker, and hopefully, he's putting on Ovi's tape in the slot instead of up the middle.
Never heard of him. Never heard of him. I don't know why you keep bringing this Ovi guy. I've never heard of the guy.
Yeah. So I mean, there's times where you might even have to just yell at a guy and he'll put the puck up the middle or whatever. So as you keep going on in your career, there was a couple times this year where you just say, hey, like the game as mad as that might make you. Jance, that happens a little bit now. So it's the game's changing a little bit, and I just got to go out and help the team win at the end of the day.
How's your relationship with Reaver? And Reaver, we had him on the pod. We're buddies. He spent the night at my house and got sent down the next day. It is what it is. But he gets like do you think about when you guys go and of course you're not in the same even conference or anything like that, but when you guys go against each other, do you feel like the old school back in the day? Like I feel like I'm gonna have to go this guy. I know he talks about you and he says he doesn't like you, but I'm like, do you really not like him? Like I never hated anybody ever, even Sean Avery, who I never got you don't know where you're at with him when you played against him. We had him on the pod, nicest guy in the world. How was your relationship with Ryan Reaves, who's a big popular guy in St. Louis here too?
Yeah, I mean, it's a small world, the hockey world, and I think there's definitely a mutual understanding there that if he was on my team, we'd probably be pals. And you respect his game, and I said it a couple of years back. Like, it's great to have guys like that in the league. He's fast, he plays hard, he's tough as nails, and he can play too. So, I'm not oblivious to that. He's a good player. Obviously, when I'm on the ice, he's making sure I know that he's out there, and it's good. It's good for the game. He's crushed me a couple times, and we fought I think a couple times when he was in St. Louis, but there's some gamesmanship going on there for sure, and I think a lot of guys love him and appreciate him as a guy in the room, and who knows, maybe we'll have a beer down the road when all this is said and done. But there's definitely been a rivalry per se, or I don't know if it's Twitter that's putting us up against each other or what. But
well, Andy thinks he's a pussy.
Fun.
Andy says he's a pussy. I keep telling Andy he's a tough guy.
Yeah, okay.
I'm joking.
Yeah, I didn't say that.
He's going to get pissed at you now.
Hey, but like
there might be a knock on your door.
Maybe. But are there other players like that who you have a little one-on-one battle with? And like, what's it like when the Capitals are going to play the Penguins? It's all about Ovi versus Sid. Like, how much do you guys all get up for those games? And like, give me another nemesis though, besides Reaver, that you go toe to toe with pretty much every time you see him.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple guys. I think Wayne Simmons for my first probably 5 years. It felt like we fought every time we played each other. Wow. Couple line brawls, and that was the couple games where Emery went after Holtz, and there was some great games. And I actually trained with him every day in the summer in the same group. He was the guy that was pretty instrumental in kind of showing me how to work and stuff like that. So then I get on the ice and he's calling me out and doesn't even know me anymore. I'm like, oh God, I guess here we go, you know?
Hey, remember Emery? Is that when Emery beat the fuck out of Holtby so bad in the corner? Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
And Emery's just down on his knees. And
he's got Muhammad Ali on his mask, dude.
Oh my God! Rest in peace.
I think we were up 5-1 in that game, and Simmer basically told our bench, like, I'm gonna run guys until someone, you know, stands up for themselves or whatever. And he was playing clean. He was delivering hits, and then he hit me, and we started fighting. And then all of a sudden, the refs were like, hey, the goalies are fighting. We got to get you to the box. I'm like, the goalies are fighting? Like,
killed him.
Is fighting? Like,
did he get a concussion?
And, he actually loves the story too. He was fine. He was all tangled up, and Razor's was one of the toughest guys to play as a goalie for sure. So Holtz laughs about it to this day over beers and stuff. It was a pretty wild sequence.
Oh, God. That's awesome. Hey, before we let you go, like TJ Oshie, again, another popular guy here. Like, what'd you think of him before he got there, and has he fit in as well as it looks from the outside?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know really anything about him as a guy or as a teammate before he came to Washington, but you know, I think honestly, you know, I'm not just saying this, probably one of the best, you know, on the ice, off the ice guys that you can have in an organization. Like he's really second to none, and you know, we're great buddies. We're best buddies, and we've had a ton of fun together. Obviously, that parade, he's got some pretty fun times up his sleeve for sure. And you know, he's awesome. He's just a guy that makes everybody in the room around him better, if that makes any sense. Like if you miss the trash can with a piece of tape or something, like he's racing to put it in before you do, and it's not like fake. Like that's just who he is. Like he's such a good guy.
You know, he's a one person in society that makes waterboarding fun. When you waterboard yourself, that's not funny. I shouldn't joke about that, but he did. And if he wants to waterboard me, I'll do it. How fun is it though? You guys have your little thing in warm-ups, by the way, you and Osh, where you like tap each other on the jock and you smack each. I mean, the women in the stands, I can just look at them; they're all going fucking crazy. Like you guys just put a fucking show on for the women. I love it, man.
Yeah, he's another guy in our room that like it's so much fun to have him around. There's so many good times with the guys, but you know when that puck drops, like he's just an animal out there. Like he competes like no one else. Like I have these memories from the cup run where he's standing in front of the power play and England's just like cross checking him like back in the day, stick work, like just going to town on his back, his ribs, like two-handed him, and he's just taking it. Like, you know, those were some heavy battles, and I think not many people really realized that during those series, but like he was going at it with one of the toughest guys to play as well, and like, you know, he didn't even blink an eye. Like he just was out there competing and loving it.
Tommy.
Yeah, he's one of the most popular players ever.
Oh, yeah. He was fun to party with,
It's a shame he couldn't finish it off, but we were all happy to see him win a cup, obviously, in Washington, man. This
Tommy,
has been great, dude.
I appreciate it, my man. I'll tell you this right now. You're my wife's favorite player, which is kind of embarrassing on my fucking part. I shouldn't even fucking say that, but I'm going to tell you that anyway, okay? Yeah. We love you, buddy, man. You're fun to watch, and appreciate you coming on, big boy.
Seriously. Hey, keep it going, dude. You are we appreciate you doing this. Thanks for doing it, man.
We'll see you around.
All the best.
Thanks.
See you, little Tommy.
Bye.
All right, that was Tom Wilson, brought to you by the Normal Brand. Of course, our friends over with Bellman.com. Again, get yourself some new wheels, www.bellman.com. Hook yourself up, Buick, GMC, Cadillac, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Troy, Missouri. Check out their website, all the pre-owned and the used cars. All the selection is there for you. And Cope24, www.cope24.com. Tom Wilson, you didn't know what to expect, really, because you had never really talked to him, Cam, and I told you, man, this guy is a great interview, great talker. Did he exceed your expectations? Man, was he what you thought he'd be? What were your thoughts?
He's my new BFF, baby. Like, I'm going to hang out with this
You
cat.
are like that. Hey, can you send me his cell phone?
Fuck that, yeah.
Can you send me his cell number? I want to text him.
Yeah, I want to text him.
Jeez,
can't I text him?
You're like a fanboy.
Yeah. He's a beautiful human being. And I like the way he plays. Let me text him afterwards. I said, thanks a lot, big boy. He said, thank you too, Cam.
Big boy.
And I'm like, fuck yeah. And he gave me a winky face, dude, which is always cool.
Oh, did he?
No, but I thought he did. Look, let me imagine that he did that, okay?
Did you know what a G-Wagon is?
Fuck yeah. Covey had one, baby. Yeah. Sick ass tough. They have those box wheels. on fucking 22s, black rims, white fucking G-Wagon. It's a fucking like what pimps drive around in, baby.
I follow G-Wagon on Instagram.
You couldn't drive one. You're too small.
Yeah, I could. And I'm cleansing today, too, by the way.
Stop cleansing. You need to put fucking weight on. Constipate your fucking self.
Is that
You're
how
too
you do
small.
it? Why do you keep saying that?
Because that's how you put weight on. You need to put weight on, not off. On, not off. That's a good problem, baby.
It's not
Eat more.
Not about losing weight. Just making sure I'm feeling good about myself.
Well, start working
getting
out
all
then.
the bad stuff
Just start
out.
working out.
I do
then.
work out.
All you do is cleanse. Like fucking do some
I have
sit-ups and
I
shit.
have got a personal trainer. What are you talking about? I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, on the Peloton? That
Yeah.
doesn't count.
She loves me.
He thinks
too.
you think you're dating this chick. You think you and your wife are fucking hanging out with some chick that you're on a Peloton with. She doesn't even know who the fuck you are. She has no idea who she's looking at. She's looking at a screen. You're looking at her.
Hey, we asked for some suggestions from our listeners.
Yeah.
About who we should have on the podcast.
Yeah,
Somebody just sent Eric Ryba. What are your
Who?
thoughts? What are your thoughts?
What?
You don't know who that is?
Eric who?
Gryba.
Who the fuck is that?
Oh my God! I hope he's not listening. Hope he's not listening.
Eric, I'm gonna look it up real quick
Google
on my
it.
awesome ass
Google it.
computer. That's not.
So we're getting some
Mississippi.
suggestions about who we should
Ryba.
have on.
Eric Gerby. Gerby.
Yeah, we're just working. No, not Nathan Gerby.
Nathan Gerby.
Yeah. Okay.
Eric
Maybe we'll edit
Ryba?
this part out. Yeah,
Eric
he played.
Ryba?
Yeah, he played for
For
a while.
who?
Some teams out west, I
You
believe.
don't even know what team he played
yeah, I
for.
do.
So fucking shut the fuck up.
I know who Eric Ryba is.
Oh my god.
I want to say Ottawa, maybe Calgary.
You don't know
He
shit.
played for a Canadian team
You
for
don't
sure.
know
Look it up.
shit. Why would you even say that?
Eric Ryba.
Now this guy's listening. He's gonna be like, these guys suck. Fuck these guys. Like fuck. Sorry, Eric, man.
You don't know
I'm
who
sorry,
he is.
dude.
You're
I'm gonna look him
supposed
up.
to know.
Fuck this. I got my computer in front of me.
Look it up.
Oh god.
Look it
What's
up.
my fucking password? Ugh.
Tom Wilson.
Yeah.
In today's game, how
How would he play in today's game? Well, he is playing today's game. He's a
No,
Stanley
no,
Cup
no,
champion.
no. If he played in a previous era,
Yeah. Yeah,
he's a big boy. He'd be able to handle himself, right?
God, he'd be score 40 goals.
Well, what about fighting?
Yeah, he'd be tough, man. He'd be a fucking
Would
Shane
he scare you?
Yeah, he'd be Shane Corson. How's that? That's
Yeah,
a good comparison.
Shane Corson's
There you
tough,
go.
man.
That's a good one, eh?
Yeah.
Baz McRae.
Yeah. Basil's more of a tough guy than he could play. Don't get
I
me
think
wrong.
is Tom better hockey
I don't know
player
if Basil McRae was on the
Basil put
first
some po-
line, you know.
I think he kind
Sergio
of.
Momesso was.
Yeah, but he didn't fight anybody.
He would fight.
No, he wouldn't. Show me a fight of Sergio. He fought as much as you did. There you go.
He would fight, and he's
No, he
Marco
didn't. No, he
Scandella's uncle. So
No,
call-
I don't give
careful.
a
He's
shit.
a friend
No,
of the
no,
show.
I know he is. Sergio Momesso never fought anybody. It was a fucking fluke fight if he did. But he
Okay,
was a
well,
big power
he
forward.
would fight,
I'm
is
just
what I'm
saying.
saying.
No. I'll correct you, son. He's a big power forward that helped complement the big boys in Adam Oates and Brett Hall in the early '90s. Did he fight? No. You're wrong on that, Andy
We'll look
Strickland,
that
and
up.
I will correct
We'll look
you.
that up. I'll have the information for
Go
you
ahead.
next time we come
Go
back
ahead.
and do this.
Well, good. We didn't have it this time.
Who else
You
we have?
didn't
Who else we have coming up?
Oh, Eddie Belfour, baby.
Eddie Belfour.
Oh, he's a Hall of Famer.
That'll be next.
I know.
Yeah,
Hall of Famer,
these
baby.
are the interviews
Yeah.
where Cam gets a little nervous.
No, I didn't. I was good with
He's
him.
got a whiskey, by the way. You were very good. He's
Thank
got
you.
a whiskey
Yeah,
with like a
Cup on it,
Stanley
yeah.
Cup at the
He's
top of
hooking
the
us
whiskey
up.
bottle.
He's hooking us up.
So you want to stay tuned for that.
Fuck. That's
And,
what I need. Whiskey now. I'll break my other fucking foot.
We got some other good ones too. But again, check out our Instagram account, Cam and Strick Pod. Our Twitter account, Cam and Strick Pod as well, by the way. You got to put the little @ symbol before that. And then at
Thanks, Sandy.
Cam Jansen, 55 or 25?
If you have to know, you have to put an @ symbol. Just don't even look it up. Then. It's your first fucking day on
55
Twitter.
or 25? 55.
It's 25, man.
25. At
How
Cam
can you not know
Jansen,
this?
25. And then at Andy Strickland, at Real Strick Nasty. I'm trying to build up
that's
my
cool.
Instagram account.
Yeah, well, good luck with that.
Okay.
Good luck with that.
And I didn't steal that from
Especially-
Biz. They called me.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
You and Ben Nasty did. You, Jordan Bennington, stole fucking Biz Nasty's bullshit.
Dude,
and don't act like you
They
fucking
were calling
didn't.
me Strick Nasty
Full
for like
fucking-
20 years,
fuck that.
dude, on
No,
radio.
No. You got it from fucking
You want to know who
Biz.
gave me that name?
No. Biz could chirp me today, and I'll eat it like a
Dude,
man.
you have no idea. First of all, stop there because you're wrong. And I'm going to
oh,
prove it
really?
to you when we hang
then
out.
fucking prove it to me.
I will. But so therefore, you should be.
Took it.
Don't
Both
be,
of you did.
Don't be spreading
Both
false
of you
rumors.
did. Even at least
I wouldn't do that.
At least Jordan fucking admitted it in a fucking interview, and he
I
goes,
didn't.
"No, well, at least Jordan did because he's a man.
No, I didn't.
You're just eating protein shakes all day."
So this guy, Ben Boyd, who's a producer here in town,
Love him.
and he gave me the nickname along with this other kid who was like David, our best friends with David Freeze, and used to hang out Bergie and all these guys. They started calling me Strick Nasty. years ago, back in like the early 2000s. So, you know, you don't know anything. Okay? I wouldn't steal.
Sergio Momesso was a fucking heavyweight in the show. Sergio Momesso's a heavy, toe-to-toe, big lefty, just like George the Rock.
Anything else? Anything else you want to say about Tom Wilson?
Very handsome.
I want to give a shout out to his brother Peter Wilson, by the way. I think he wrote a book.
No shit.
And he tweeted at me
Maybe
today.
you do know something. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He's got a brother named Pete. What's his hairline look like?
He's got two brothers.
He's probably bald, eh? It's funny how that works. One guy's beautiful, and the next guy. Unless you're the Sansones, of course.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Hey, can we give a shout out to
Let's get him out, baby.
Anthony Sr. who passed away?
Exactly.
Man.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what's the word? The patriarch?
Just an entrepreneur. Just came over here and fucking did it.
But he was the leader of the entire
Damn
Sansone
right.
family.
Just the
we may have
coolest
said
family
this
in the
last
world.
time too, but we're just giving
Love
another
'em.
shout out to the Sansone family, thinking about them.
Badasses.
And again, we appreciate all the support here on the Cam
guys.
and Strick podcast. We got lots more coming your way too, man. So much
we love
more.
it. We love
We're
it,
just
guys.
getting started. This was episode 36.
See you guys.